When I looked at some photos of my recent trip, I realized that airplanes are, or can be at least, time machines. Not only do they take you from one geographical location to another one, they can also take you from one point in time to a different epoch or era. At least they can do it to me. And the last time this happened was when I visited the beach party in Tullahoma, Tennessee. And it was not when I looked at all these beautiful round tails of perfectly restored stagger wings that I started to hallucinate. No, it was when I got unexpectedly invited to a flight with a Beech 18. When I stepped into the cabin of this beautiful old timer and we took off, I started to travel in time. Started to travel back 60 years. And I heard the rumbling sound of its engine and saw its characteristically trapezoidal shaped wings slice through the sky above our house in Nuremberg. It was the time when DC-6 and super constellations connected Nuremberg to Frankfurt and Berlin. And I went out, rode my bike out to the airport to meet them. It was the time when those classics shaped my dream of becoming an airline pilot, taking those big birds to distant destinations and fighting wind and weather and managing their idiosyncratic radials and instrumentation. All these challenges were something that really appealed to me. They were part of the attraction of becoming an airline pilot. And all that only because I took off in the fall of 2024 in a Beech 18. Time travel. And while we climbed out of Tullahoma, another memory popped up. It was a memory of the day when the first jet airliner landed at Nuremberg Airport. It was a big event. Even the newspapers announced it. And the teacher in our elementary school organized an excursion to the airport so we could visit this event. And I think it was because her husband, an American, was working as an ATC controller at the Nuremberg Tower. So we went out there and saw this sleek Air France Caravelle land, do a couple of touch and goes, come up to the apron, and then leave again. It was phenomenal. The modern times had just started. Faster speeds, longer non-stop legs, better technology. That was great. But it also left me with ambivalent feelings. Because it seemed to me, in my teens, wanting to become an airline pilot, wanting to master all this old machinery, it seemed to me modern technology had replaced part of the pilot's work. And I didn't know if I was going to like that. And the same thing happened actually a couple of years later when the first Boeing 707s showed up. No, there was no scheduled service from Nuremberg with those big birds, but being a modern airport, having all the installations necessary, ILS, long runways, Lufthansa used Nuremberg as their training airport to check out pilots in this new bird. And again, newspapers were full of praise and admiration. Now the Jet 8 has become, the time between Frankfurt and New York was shrinking down to 8 or 9 hours, and weather wasn't an issue anymore because those new jet birds, they would fly so high that no thunderstorms could threaten them. Wow, I said, well, maybe I should have been born 20 years earlier, go on another time travel and fly DC-3s and DC-4s, because that's when real pilots were working. All these ideas of a 12, 13-year-old. But it was interesting. But then, years later, I had a different experience, which was kind of time travel in the other direction. It was the time when the first GPS instruments, navigators, entered the soaring world. A good friend of mine was instrumental in getting all these the glitches worked out and bringing them to the soaring world as navigators and as loggers. And I kind of served as a beta tester, so I was very early on involved into the GPS part, and I saw the tremendous promise what we could do, and I was excited about it, and I wanted to just step forward 3 or 4 years to see what's going to be possible with all this new instrumentation. Another type of time travel, another time, an airplane induced time travel. So just looking at some pictures, all kinds of weird thoughts, memories and ideas can come up, and this was one of them. I hope you enjoyed them, and thanks for watching, and see you next time.